Mickey Dickey here, and one of the questions I get are on 1031 exchanges. I get it quite a bit, and one of the questions I get is, can you do a 1031 exchange into a REIT? Now, the answer is yes, but it's a little more complicated than just yes, as most of you can probably imagine who understand what a 1031 exchange is. And realistically, there's a couple of steps, and I don't want to go into the weeds on it because those of you who are interested in it and want help with it, call my office and we'll be able to have a conversation with you, because each state is a little bit different. I don't want to step on any toes with that, but you're going to need to make sure we do this legal in the proper way within your state. This is a general concept that I'm explaining here. If you have a property that is income generating, and someone has told you that you can do a 1031 exchange on it, you can do that into a REIT as an end result. Now, the way this works is that you're going to do the 1031 exchange, and let's just say you have a property that you bought for $300,000, and now it's worth $1 million because the market's gone crazy. And you would like to sell it, take advantage of the market being up, but you don't want to pay the capital gains on the $700,000 gain. If you exchange it for a like property, then you can, in essence, kick the can down the road tax-wise. And again, I'm not a tax professional, but in the 1031 exchange, what you would do is say, listen, I want to sell a $1 million property, and it goes into your QI. And then from the QI, you move it into a DST, and then eventually it gets moved into an UPREIT. And that's, again, it's not quite as simple as all of that. But the nice thing is you don't have to go out and find another property, because one of the problems with a 1031 exchange, let's say you're in a smaller community and you're selling this property for $1 million. In order to exchange it, you got to find another like property to exchange it to. What the DSTs do is allow you to actually invest in a like property that may not even be in your state. It might be in another state, but the IRS rules will allow you to, again, as long as it's a like property. And what's really nice about it is the DSTs allow, you don't even have to manage it anymore. So let's give you an example. Let's say you've got somebody who, again, bought a property 40 years ago for $100,000, and you're ready to retire. You're 65 years old. You don't want to manage rental properties anymore. You want to sell it. You've got somebody who's willing to buy it for $1 million, and you've got $900,000 gain. And then also, once you sell it, what kind of income do you get? You can move it into a DST, and from the 1031 exchange, and the DST will actually manage the property for you. So when you get into, and again, I don't want to go into the weeds and how all this works, but imagine being able to own a rental property that's like kind of what you have, and you don't actually have to manage it. They will send you the operating income statements. They will send you your K1s and your 1099s and anything that has to go along with owning that property. And it's managed by the DST, and then eventually it can be managed by a REIT. So again, the answer is yes, you can put money into a 1031 exchange and get it into a REIT from the sale of a property that's an income producing property. Again, there's a lot of other details that go into this. You have to run this through a financial advisor. This is not something that you can do on your own through E-Trade or whatever. You do have to have a financial advisor. There are different steps that you have to go through in order to qualify to do this. So you need to get with a financial advisor that actually does these types of things. This is a little bit of a diagram of how it's done. Again, you got the investment property goes QI first, but then to the DST and then the REIT. Again, call the office. We'll be happy to help you out with that and to get you through the proper steps. But it is something that you can do. And again, it solves the problem if you can't find a property to work it out. Now, the other part of this is, again, let's just say you have the same scenario where you have a $300,000 property you're selling for $1 million. And hey, let's say you have another $300,000 property that you want to buy. It's just the other $700,000. What do you do with? Again, what you do is you take the money, you sell the investment property, you move it to your QI, which is over here, and there's $1 million in there. Let's say there's a $300,000 property you want to buy. Okay, well, you buy the $300,000 property with the money that's in there. You take the $700,000 and put in the DST, and then eventually it goes to the REIT. So you don't have to put it all into the DST into the REIT. You can put a portion of it, part of it, and even if you have financing, that goes into the DST and REIT as well. So Again, there's programs out there that can help you with this. I know this is not a simple process. I know it's not something that everybody deals with. Talk to somebody like myself or my son Logan. I'll be happy to help you out with this. But again, it's another one of these things that can help you retire when you want to retire and how you want to retire. Be happy to help you out with it. Dickie out.